Hello, welcome back to another episode of Initial Impressions, the podcast dedicated to helping you feel more at peace, conquering your inner demons, focusing on all things emotional, mindfulness. I just want to help you live more fulfilled, happier lives. So today's episode is going to be about failure and rejection because I think a lot of us are so busy hearing all the restraints that other people put on us, all the doubts that people put on us. And oftentimes we internalize those fears and they keep us from the blessings and opportunities that are in store for us, the opportunities that we're going to have to create literal magic by staying aligned to yourself and honoring your beliefs and honoring what it feels like you're called to in this life. I think so often we really just don't give ourselves a chance, and we let a lot of people who are not qualified make us feel like we are not good enough, we are not capable. And I really just want to kind of address this head on because everybody goes through this. Everybody goes through rejection. Every successful person out there has been rejected before. It's really a matter of how are you going to view rejection in your life? What power are you going to give it? And what are you going to do about the information that you gain from each failure? Because that's really valuable. Failure is information. When something doesn't work out, you get to ask yourself and maybe even the other people involved why that is. And that doesn't mean that you're always supposed to change according to other people, but it might help you better understand if maybe the people you're trying to collaborate with in the first place aren't actually a match to you. It's kind of ironic that we are so picky in friendships and relationships, but when it comes to things business related or creative, it feels like if somebody tells us no, it is such a personal attack, or we just think that we ought to be a match to everyone. And that's not the case. You're not compatible with every single person, just like you're not compatible for every friend or every boyfriend or every girlfriend. You know, getting told no by a guy you're not interested in doesn't hurt that bad, right? But like we get told no by these people all the time who we may or may not even be compatible to work with. And that might be the whole reason they're saying no or rejecting you in the first place. And they could be saving both of you, surely, a lot of time and energy trying to make something work between you that isn't going to work. A very common saying is that rejection is redirection. And I honestly couldn't believe that more. The times in my life where I have been told no, a lot of the times the things that I wanted, I didn't see the full picture. I didn't understand how much better it could be. You know, like there's that super old meme where like there's this little girl talking to God and she has a teddy bear and it's all old and small and beat up, and she's like, but that's the one that I want. And he's like holding this giant teddy bear behind his back, like that is what I'm trying to give you. I'm trying to bless you with this, but we have to take this out of the way first. And so sometimes there are going to be things, rejections that happen, and it's protection. It's really a matter of, are you going to decide to trust that things are working out for you or not? Are you going to take failure and apply that to your sense of self-worth? Because they're really not correlated at all. Your self-worth is inherent. And, you know, these beliefs, you can say, oh, well, how do you know that I'm worthy? How do you know that I'm called to what I feel like I'm supposed to do? How do you know? And it's really just what you decide to believe. In one of them, there's opportunity, and in the other, there's no opportunity. It's only a ceiling. There's only limitations. So I choose the belief systems in which I think open me up for the possibility of the blessings I'm desiring. And if you take failure for what it is and you just shut down, stop, you know, don't keep pushing, don't get up and try again, and you just decide that that means that you're not worthy, decide that it means you're not called for it, your chances of making your dreams come true have evaporated. There's no hope in that belief system. But in the belief system that says, I know that what I'm a match to, what I'm right for, is going to reveal itself to me. If it's not coming now, there's a reason. There's something yet for me to learn. And it's going to come right on time when it does come. And they must not have been a match. Or maybe they're just not a match yet, but they will be one day. Maybe this version of them isn't a match. Maybe this version of this opportunity isn't right for me. Maybe it would have brought me more hardship. If you can rework your thoughts in that manner and you can choose to get back up and try again, you can choose not to hold a grudge, to be optimistic, to believe that everything is working in the best interest for all of you, and to just keep pushing forward and be okay with the story not being finished, then all of a sudden, there is a chance. There's a chance that you can have your dream, that it's going to come true. And of course, there's a chance that you'll continue to get rejected. And personally, I'd prefer to take the road that is frequently less traveled, the one where I don't give up, the one where I believe that things are working out in my favor, because there is a chance that at the end of the day, it's going to lead to everything that I've ever felt called for. And it's crazy because the more that you commit to falling in love with the journey, the less the rejection matters, because you love this moment for what it is right here and now, for this stage of your business, for this stage of your creativity. This part of the journey that you're on right now, I want you to fall in love with the process so that way you can be patient. Because in peace with the present, you find patience to wait on the future. And in patience, you are slower to speak, slower to commit to things that might not serve you. You are lining yourself up for higher quality opportunities instead of, it really isn't quantity over quality. Quality is superior. And when you really believe in yourself and your worth and you become patient while you're evolving in the process, you are opening doors for people to recognize you with the amount of self-respect that you're carrying. And when people see that belief in you, it sparks something. This is the crazy thing. If you have a vision, one that you feel was given to you, one that is inherent, it's a part of you, something you've always felt called to, that you're passionate about, you have a vision. So why is it that we expect everyone else to see our vision? If everybody could see it, then what would be the point of you having the vision if everybody else has it too? If everybody can see it, what are you supposed to do? Your job is not to be palatable. It's not to have everybody in the world understand you, because it's not possible. When you are the one with the vision, it is your responsibility to paint the picture. It is not everyone else's responsibility to know what your dreams are. It's not everybody else's responsibility to pursue your dreams or validate you. You are to validate you. You are to stand up for yourself. You are to honor yourself, respect yourself, fight for your dreams, paint the picture so everyone else can see it, because it is your vision. You have the opportunity, the privilege of getting to do something that nobody has done before, because you are no one else. There is nobody on the planet that is like you, that is going to do things just the way you're going to do it. It doesn't matter if it's been created before. Has it been created by you? And are you going to be bold enough to believe that there's a difference? Success requires a little bit of delusion, because you're going into a territory you've never been before. You're facing experiences and people you've never seen before. You're being told by other people that you're not good enough. It's not everyone else's job to make you feel like you can do this. It's your job to tell yourself that you can do this. It's your job to paint the picture for everybody else. It's your job to look up quotes and make yourself feel confident about this life that you're trying to pursue, to rework these beliefs in your mind. And with that being your responsibility, you have now just given yourself so much power, because it is within you. It is within your control. The timing is working out in your favor. If you were to have every little thing that you've ever wanted in this room right now, right in front of your face, would you not be so overwhelmed? Would there not be some things in here that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I asked for that. If I would have known what I've known now, I would have never. It is a blessing that things take a little time sometimes. It's a blessing that not all of it is coming all at once for you to figure out. If I had a multi-billion-dollar business right now, I would be lost, confused, I might fumble it. I would rather take my time building up initial impressions to everything I've ever wanted it to be, with steps that I feel confident in, that are aligned with me and my vision and my purpose. I'd rather collaborate with people that make sense rather than just somebody who can get me views. I'd rather be diligent. I'd rather protect my purpose. Protect your purpose and your purpose will protect you. I love that quote. I feel like that's just so beautiful. And I feel like that is exactly what your purpose will do. If you protect it, it will protect you. And you just got to let these things roll off of you a little bit. Because people see you through the lens of what they believe they're capable of. When they tell you you're not smart enough, it's because they don't believe they're smart enough. When they tell you you're not pretty enough, they don't believe they're pretty enough. When they tell you it's too hard, when they say it's too challenging, when they say you can never do it, they don't believe they can do it. Simple. Because I'll tell you what, nobody who believes in themselves with all their heart and knows their worthiness and knows the impact that they're meant to have on this world will ever look at you and say you're not good enough. That's just not how the world works. The people who are the most qualified to critique you will not shame you, and they will not throw you down. They will not tell you you're not worthy. They might tell you what you can do better. And even still, that advice is up for you to decide what to do with. Only you really know what this vision is. There's billions of people in this world. The right ones are going to meet up with you, but how can they meet up with you if you keep running away from yourself? If you're running away from what you're really called to, these people are never going to get the opportunity to even see what it is. They won't even be able to see the picture you're painting because you won't just sit still and paint it. Keep switching it up. Keep changing it to different things, trying to make yourself more palatable for everybody else. How are the people that you're a match to going to find you? You got to be stern. You got to be sure. And that's not to say you have to have it all figured out right away or that you can't change and evolve. Of course not. But do it based on your own alignment. Do it on your sense of knowing. So I researched a few people who I feel like have profound experiences with failure and rejection and turned around and did something so beautiful and amazing with it. And I want to start with talking about Jamie Kern Lima, the creator of It Cosmetics. She had rosacea and she really wanted to find a product, a foundation that would cover it. And she wasn't able to do that. And so she ended up creating her own. And she experienced so much rejection throughout the process. She started it in 2008. She had the company for 8 years and she would pitch it to Sephora, pitch it to all these people, and they would tell her no. Sephora told her no for 6 years. She tried. She didn't stop. She just kept going. I was reading some of the quotes of different conversations she's had about her failure, and at one point she says that she actually would continue following up with the people who told her no. And she would give them updates on how her business was going, what new things were happening. She said that she would message them and say that she can't wait to work with them one day when they told her no. And I just loved how graceful that was. You know, no bitterness, no grudges. And she even later goes on to say that if she would have held a grudge against all the companies who told her no, she would have never been able to turn them into yeses and make money off of them. They didn't see the vision because she had to finish painting the picture. But you know what? L'Oreal, they did see the vision. It took her 8 years to paint it, but when they saw it, they paid $1.2 billion in cash for It Cosmetics. That is insane. She was working, she used to be a waitress. She was working day in and day out, grinding. She put everything into this idea, everything into this. It was her passion, her purpose. There were people who told her no, said that nobody that looked like her, had weight that she had, would ever be able to sell for a beauty company. Those are heartbreaking things to hear. Those are brutal rejections. She said that she would go and cry in her car, and it took a long time for her to stop allowing the rejections of others to affect her self-worth. But she kept fighting. And eventually she was able to do that. And she was able to keep pushing, and she trusted in her purpose. And in the end, I mean, that really paid off. She actually became L'Oreal's first woman CEO. Like, what a boss move. One of the things that she would say is, are you listening to the no's, or are you listening to your knowing? The no's or the knowing. The no's that other people tell you who aren't qualified to tell you your purpose. Or the knowing that you have deep inside of you. Why would you be created with a knowing, with a calling, with a purpose that you were never meant to achieve, never meant to strive for? Another pretty remarkable story is Walt Disney, who was actually fired before he created Disney because of his lack of creativity by a local newspaper, which clearly there wasn't a lack of creativity there, and he actually got rejected over 300 times by financiers for his Mickey Mouse and Disney idea. That is a lot of times. And now today, Disney made over $88 billion in revenue last year. That is baffling. Went from 300 rejections. Like, actually visualize that for a second. Just like close your eyes and visualize 300 people in the room with you, all telling you no. How bad do you want it? How bad do you believe in it? How willing are you to keep the door open for possibilities instead of slamming it closed because somebody told you no? You are meant for what you're called for. Another example, Vincent van Gogh. Actually, this one is a pretty sad story, but I feel like it really helps to show just how powerful your thoughts are on the way that you're feeling and experiencing your life, even if the rest of the world disagrees with you. So, he was a painter, and he did a lot of things, and he was a really troubled guy. A lot of his journals indicate that he was pretty mentally unstable, definitely troubled. And while he was alive, only one of his paintings sold for about $2,300 today. And it was the only painting that sold in his lifetime, but he unfortunately died an extremely early death at 37 years old because he attempted suicide. And at first it didn't succeed. He shot himself in the heart, and he died 2 days later with his brother. And he did not believe that he was worthy. He did not believe in his success, even though, according to the outside world, his work was starting to pick up. People were starting to notice him, and he couldn't see it. He was extremely troubled. He didn't believe in himself. He had gone so long trying and not getting that validation yet from other people, and he wasn't able to give it to himself. He didn't choose to give it to himself, and so it cost him his life. And now you fast forward, and in 2022, his painting Orchard of Cypresses sold for a record-breaking $117 million. He did not see his own worth. He denied himself the opportunity to believe in himself because of other people not recognizing him fast enough, not recognizing him on his timeline. You have to make sure that your sense of validation and purpose is coming from within and validated within. That is the only way to be truly independent in this world, honestly, is to be able to offer yourself that level of validation, that level of worthiness. You have to believe that it's inherent. I mean, there's the life where you believe you're unworthy and it's devastating. You're miserable inside. Or there's the life where you believe you're worthy and you find more and more evidence of that every day. The world will validate you. When you start thinking about how some things played out, I mean, there's things that I thought went so badly in the past, and then, fast forward a couple years and I look back and I'm like, wow, that was really hard to go through. But had I not, where would I be? Had I not, would I have gotten redirected? It turns out it was a blessing in disguise. You are capable of so much. And when you get caught up in all the little details, sometimes you lose track of just how worthy you are. You have to remember that You can look externally for advice and for criticism that's constructive, but you should never look outside of yourself for worthiness or for validation. You are meant to do this. Whatever it is that you feel called to, you've got to bet it all on it. Otherwise, what are you doing? What are we here for? We're not here to live a mediocre life. And I'm not saying that based on the standards of society or celebrities. It's about what you want. It's about what gives you purpose. It's about what gives you meaning, fulfillment, what brings you pleasure. And it may not be in your career. It might be in your hobbies. It might be in your connections with other people. But if you're not living in alignment with that, what is the point of doing all of this? There's more to life. You are ingrained with this deep knowing, and it's truly in the denial of who we really are that we experience suffering. When we believe things that aren't true about us, it hurts. When you believe things that are true about you, it feels good. So why would you keep feeding the thoughts, the beliefs that make you feel bad about yourself? They're not true. You are capable of your wildest dreams, and you might have to build them 1% at a time, 1% more a day. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because you will be amazed at what can happen in a year. Actually, I think me and some friends are going to do a little podcast episode on that alone. What can happen in a year when you go all in on yourself, when you believe in yourself, in your purpose, in your passions, and you stop looking to everyone else for the validation that only you can truly give yourself. Their validation will be fleeting. A company can like you one day and they can hate you the next. They'll follow the trends, whatever it may be. You have to know who you are, what your purpose is, what picture you're trying to paint, and you just have to keep going at it a little bit every day. Do not let the limiting beliefs of everyone else keep you from reaching your fullest potential. Strive for it more and more every day. And if there is an area in which you've been facing rejection, ask yourself how qualified these people are to make you feel like you're not capable. There's a quote by Jamie Kern Lima that I really loved when I read it, and it's, "To venture into unmapped territory, sometimes we have to take the experts off the pedestal we've created in our minds for them and put our intuition onto one." That is so powerful. Every expert, every successful person was just like me and you. They didn't know it all when they were born. They had to figure it out. And they might have earned the privilege of being able to decline or approve different collaborations, but that does not mean that they are qualified to tell you that you are not meant for what you know in your bones you are meant to do. Nobody is qualified to do that. I hope this episode was helpful. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate so much if you'd share it, subscribe to the podcast, and if you have any friends that you think could benefit from this, please send it their way. Every week, I just really hope that I can help you feel like you're capable and worthy of the direction that you want to go in. I think sometimes we all need a little push, a little reminder of who we are, and I want to help do that for you. I want to help be that for you. As always, I hope you're leaving more at peace than you came.